Welcome to the second hour of Mindshifters Radio. Today is Thursday, August the 7th, 2025. And we welcome you to the show. Hi, Michael.
And we're delighted that you're here. Welcome. And it's I'm looking forward to seeing what surfaces today, what comes up. Susan, that opening or that second session, well, both the opening and the second session of the facilitated Codependence to Interdependence Communication Practicum was awesome. You looked like you'd been doing this all of your life, and you had such a great handle on the material. That's just accolades, kudos, congratulations.
Oh, thank
Awesome.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I realized, you know what, I think I have been working on this for lifetimes and just it just seemed to flow in the knowing and obviously being supported by, Ruka Takucha, I felt that even, when I was just prepping for it. Information was dropping in and there would be the next piece, that the parts that were important to speak about. So yeah, thanks for seeing that. I felt really good, and I thought I wouldn't be able to be here today because I had a client, but it was an hour earlier, so it was excellent. So I get to be here today. Yes, sirree.
Awesome. Well, delighted you're here.
Yeah.
And as Jeannie was talking, one of the things that occurred to me when she was mentioning how are you, I mean, literally in 7 years, unless she actually fell and hurt herself, maybe heard her cry a total of 2 or 3 hours. And we had her 2, 3, 4 days a week for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
She's just been so easy. And her grandson, Lincoln, is the opposite.
Yeah.
That boy has had goals from the moment he could scream. And I know that once he gets the language for it, one of the first things we're going to be working on is canceling goals because, I mean, in an instant, he's just ready to turn a year. And this has gone on for, I don't know, we have to talk about it, maybe 5 months with him.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, the instant he isn't getting what he wants, he's just right into that. Screaming, complaining, just, I mean, instantly. He doesn't give it a second.
So it just
you
goes
can
to
see
show,
how
right?
early you can see how early goals come into the fray.
And so it must come in because, of course, we're marinated in, right? We're marinated in these family systems, this structure that he popped into
Exactly.
his body, and then giving him the tools. And what I was saying to Jeannie, the best part, his personal will. He's got a strong will for him to just, want something, and now it's putting it into alignment with divine will. He's going to be a great asset for humanity once he gets those two connected. You guys can help him with that. So that's beautiful. Yeah.
One of the other things as she was talking about that, I was listening in the background, and one of the other things that has been a nice insight for me is I can remember when my kids were small, they're both in their 40s now. When my kids were small and they'd be screaming, it was about them.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? Why are they doing this to me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was not nearly so steeped 40 years ago in the understanding of being a member of the one world universal religion of blame, guilt, fault, and suffering.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I mean, he can scream all he wants, and sometimes he goes on for quite a while, and I can just be with him and hold him and smile, and it's
Be
like
present.
it's not about him. I'm just there, and having worked through the stuff in me, I realized that when my kids screamed, that was my unshed tears that was in need of forgiveness. That was my disturbance. It had nothing to do with them. And I'm realizing that just, so fully with him that, and like, it's just perfectly fun. It's like, okay, go for it. And, it's like there's nothing left to be resonated in me by his crying, screaming. And
that is so amazing. That's amazing. Because I know even when I do breath work, right? And I'm a sitter in breath work and heliotropic breath work. And when you're the sitter for somebody, they're having big upsets. Some of them are screaming, and then they, you just play the part. Sometimes they want to be held, and you're there as a safe witness. You're not engaging. And what I found for me often, my need, this is old, to want to go, I could see they needed water before they did. They wanted water, but they weren't asking, or they wanted a blanket, but they're not asking. but I had to just be a safe witness to allow them to have their moments. So that's been quite a learning. So that's awesome that you could just, there's no attachment. Like you said, there's nothing resonating in you. That's
Yeah, it's
powerful.
cool. It's cool. And as you get deeper into the still point breathing process,
Yeah.
you'll see that all of that stuff that in many kinds of breath work is tolerated and called something,
Yeah.
that all of the screaming, all of the crying, if you just watch somebody's body, you can see Satan in action
Yeah.
in the throat, in the face, in the hands, in the feet, all the places that tighten up, the places that go into tetany. That
Yeah.
literally, from the Aramaic perspective, is Satan.
Yeah.
And Satan being the resistor, one who misleads. And so that's the space where, and somebody who's in that kind of state and it's allowed to continue, rarely ever touches the super processor, the superconductor state of still point, where the stuff they're resisting moves. And in those moments, that's the time to point to somebody. Gee, your jaw's looking pretty locked up there. Maybe you want to soften those muscles a little bit. Gee, what's happening with your tongue? Notice how your throat, that literally, like all of the principles that we were taught in Christianity are so much more imminent in our lives. Like and for those who maybe are listening who aren't familiar with this Aramaic definition of Satan, Satan means the resistor. Literally, it is physiological resistance in the body that resists energy flow that creates pain. And when we start to let go of the categorization of our own blocking of energy as pain and start to experience it as sensation and soften into it, it transforms anything. And that is literally defeating Satan. That softening and opening is such a key piece in the puzzle.
When you did the still point, when I was with you at, and you said that to me, that exact word, you're going to have to experience the pain. I invite you to experience the pain as sensation. That was a
Right.
game changer.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Just to be able to, you don't have to give it a label that it's pain. It was intense.
Yep. And
yeah.
that high velocity movement of energy that most people categorize as pain is really just a sensation in the structure. And pain is a mental construct that creates suffering. When we label it, we've got this whole construct that we create rather than, oh, here's an energy moving through me. And it is the restriction of that, i.e., literally the action of Satan in the Aramaic sense, that turns it into pain. Take the breath there, and it begins the dissolution process. So, and for everybody else, everybody else here has done some breathing. Does that resonate anything for anybody? Anybody have any thoughts on that topic of breathing and resistance? Softening? I was just saying for those who just joined us, Jeannie was mentioning how easy a child Ari was to raise, like hardly ever cried. And Lincoln, the instant he isn't getting his way, he's now a year, so from probably about the 7-month point, the instant he isn't getting his way, he's screaming. And I was just sharing that when my kids were small and would scream, I now realize the fact that I can sit here with Lincoln and he can scream all he wants and it's just okay. I can smile with him and hold him and bounce him and talk to him. And I realized that, what I thought was about my kids screaming when they were small was about the uncried tears that I'd never faced and dealt with and processed out and was locked into and resisting. And that Lincoln's given me that gift of seeing that, it doesn't matter how loud he gets, it doesn't matter. And so being able to embrace the energy that's moving through ourselves and to forgive those points of resistance is really key.
Michael?
Yes.
Susan Bingham here.
Welcome, young lady.
Sorry I'm late. The
That's okay.
what-
We're glad you're here. And I got your email the other day, and I got everything that's on your plate, and I admire everything you're doing.
oh, thanks. What you just said, I hope I can remember it because my thought just formed as you said that. Okay, here's Lincoln screaming. And do you think his screaming is expressing, you presently think that his screaming is expressing ancestral stuff or your unshed tears, or are you just allowing him to be Lincoln and for whatever reasons he's screaming
Well,
for himself? Yeah.
well, what I was saying was, as I observe it, we'll have to get a conversation with Ginny and tie it down. At this moment, there's so much going on in our world. One day is much like the next, but it's probably about 5 months ago that this really started. So you see how early goals kick in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's got no language for it, but boy, does he have goals. And I was saying, one of the first things we're going to be, I'm already talking to him about canceling goals, but once he's got language, we're going to be doing worksheets. Because he's got such a point of, man, I mean, literally, I just went through one with him. He had a nap, laid in the crook of my arm for about last hour and a half, and had a nap. And I got up, and as I got up, I went over to get something off the dresser. And I mean, he wants, now that he's awake, out of the bed and out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Lincoln, I'm just going to pick this up and I'll be right back. Let's go. And I mean, there isn't an instant for him. He's just bang on it. And so, one, it shows me how deeply the goals are embedded. And yeah, I think they're genetic. Like, he's in the mode of, I want what I want when I want it, which
I'm
is
still
somewhat,
there. Yeah.
which is somewhat like his mom and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And his grandfather, from what I know of him, he passed away, um, early in my relationship with Jeannie, and so there's definitely a genetic component to this. But for me, one of the wonderful things about it was that I recognized that when I was in upset, thinking it was about my kid screaming, it was my uncried tears, my upset.
Oh, I
And
see.
having forgiven that, I could just be with him and let him scream
I
all he
see.
wants. I mean, he'll go on for quite a while sometimes. And I can remember as a young father, I was like,
Right.
but realizing that was about me. So as soon as his language skills develop, he's going to be in the conversation about forgiveness, and we're going to be helping to surface that and let it go, I'm sure.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, he's a lucky kid. Mm.
Well, the simple fact that each of us gets to have a human life, to me, that's like just,
Isn't it amazing?
it's like just, and that something that's coming clearer and clearer for me is with the breath. And I spend more time just about every day in the morning breathing. That, we kind of take for granted, well, I'm just breathing. But when you really realize this is the breath of the creator we're sharing in, it's like,
Yeah.
wow. Pretty amazing.
Mm.
So what else is exciting in your world at this point?
Oh, goodness. Well, we're working with Marwa, trying to get sustainable work for her. Meanwhile, she's doing wonderfully. Nothing that needs reporting on the radio show, but it's great to work with these three people in the house. They're beautiful souls. And our refugee center has shut down for the rest of the summer, which gives a little space. What
Is that
else?
because of heat, hot weather, or?
No, it's just scheduling. They run a program into the summer to the end of July, mainly for children, teaching children English. But the parents come too, and we work with them. But August, we're off. And then we start in September again. So, and my son is doing very well where he is. He's got 2 inventions he's getting patents on and working on them and loving doing all the electrical repairs in this house they bought, and doing carpentry. He's multi-talented, so not being a doctor has been just thrilling for him. So although we miss him, I'm just so relieved that he's mentally so well now, and he needed to do this, and he wasn't sure that that was the right decision, but it looks as if it is. So I can concentrate on my own project, and that's wonderful. But thanks for asking. I don't need to stay on. I just
Sweet.
wanted to understand what
That's
you
awesome.
said.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. Appreciate you. Anybody else, any thoughts to share?
Wouldn't mind some help with something. This just
Sure.
came to my awareness this morning. Okay, so how do I explain this? So I think I might have mentioned it to you when we were at the workshop. So there's somebody in my life who I love deeply, but we're not, there's a separation of that I'm not in a communication with him. And I realized, and I wanted to just because I'm just trying to find language for it. My mother was not mentally well. And for me to be able to have access to her love, I was always in separation. And I just noticed this morning it feels similar in this particular case. This person's very guarded, and yeah, and I even talking about it, I could feel the big restriction right here in my sacred heart. So I want to understand that more and how to cancel that and clear that out of my way. And so I had a mind shifter that it's now safe, easy, and healing for me to surrender into life and love, right? To really fully surrender into that.
Good one.
There was, a couple of pages that came up, but yeah, I want to understand that more. That separation.
The bottom line
Yeah.
of what I hear you saying is that this is probably a power person dynamic that will open up for you as you go through the codependence work.
Okay.
But the bottom line that I hear is perhaps that you formulated a reality based on your experience with mom that I have to be separate from the presence of. Now, I'm not speaking in the our language here of responsibility. I'm speaking in the world's language, but that perhaps you formulated a reality that I have to be separate from the source of my love.
Yeah. And then there's a yearning that goes along with it, right? There's yearning for it, but I can't get at it. It all kind of clicked this morning, and this has been going on for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I can feel the energy of wanting my mother's love, and yet couldn't get access to it.
Right.
She was not mentally available. She was, she was actually, completely set. She was not there mentally. So I guess that will be doing worksheets on that I found that.
Some worksheets. How about picking a number from 1 to 32?
26.
26. Give me just a second. Let me get the list out here. See what your intuition takes you to with a mind shifter.
I'm gonna have to thank everybody on the call, because even me facilitating this codependency, this is what gets to come up for healing now. The next level of vitality.
Oh yeah, your process is going to accelerate
Yes, I can
immeasurably.
feel it last night, even when I went to bed, you guys, last night. I'm telling you, and I don't even have language for it. This is what it feels like. Even characters I might have been in other lifetimes, that is in my energetic makeup or my my sacred geometry of who I am. It feels like it's lifting and being removed I could actually feel it. I was up probably till 2:30, just laying there watching this occur. And so then opening this up for a new level of awareness to even find that correlation between that yearning and then not being able to have access to love, or my perception of that. Oh, you're on there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say
So
you're on.
then section 26,
Yeah.
the mind shifters list, and then a number from 1 to 13. What
I wanna
what
say,
resonates?
okay, I'm gonna say 6 for some reason.
Okay, that's what we want. So section 26 is functioning as a family blessing. And then 6 is, I have always been able to see and cooperate. I have always been able to see and cooperate with the highest and best intentions of each member of my family. What's happening with your breath as you write that?
Oh, I feel teary.
Say it again.
I feel teary. I'm just writing it down, but I feel, yeah, I'm locking down. I can feel that the sacred heart is locking down. I'm feeling the throat starting to constrict. I'm feeling, yeah, tears behind my eyes, but not coming through my eyes. So I just want
Okay.
to make sure I got the statement that I have always been able to see and cooperate with the highest and best intentions with each member of my family.
Yeah. And that would probably tie right in with the loss of mom's presence. And notice where it's locked in tissue.
Yeah.
Notice where the resistance to it is. Holding the space for you to breathe into it.
I can feel it right in the sacred heart, like right here, just right in the sacred heart. And it even feels deeper. It feels like right in the depth with God as we're talking. I don't need, they're right from moving into separation, because it's the bigger family. It's not only just the physical family, the seemingly illusion. I can feel it as though right in the beginning of the separation.
It's interesting how deeply this culture teaches about God being disapproving and withdrawing love. But the truth is, there's no disapproval and there's no such thing as God withdrawing love.
Yeah, we're never separate from it. But isn't it funny how even yesterday when I was speaking about, talking about the filters, I really landed around the 3 filters, right? Where we're looking through the
Right.
fear filter and we're looking through the hostility filter or the love filter, and then how it expresses as perception of whether it's threat, irritation, or love.
Yeah.
And if one's turned on, then love has to be turned off. It's an on and off switch with them. That
Yeah. Only one can be active at a time.
Yeah, at a moment. And I really like that. It got to land in those 9 data points, the truth of what that really is about. So any moment that I'm choosing fear, or if I'm choosing hostility, I can't be in love.
Either choosing it, or I don't really think that we choose that sort of thing.
Okay.
I think it's a decision in the mind. It's really just a programmed automatic response that's there, that
Yeah.
when I can soften into and embrace the energy, it dissolves because it was sourced,
Yeah.
in increments, minor, tiny, tiny increments so long ago, but has built up into this decision that the mind makes. And just kind of a roundabout way to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Back about 30 years or so ago, there was a couple from Indianapolis, Indiana. Actually, they were just north of Indianapolis, and they were medical doctors, this man and his wife. And they came to an intensive at Heartland. and they had matching T-shirts on.
Yeah.
And the T-shirt had a picture of baggage and this character sitting on the baggage. And the quote was, "If God isn't in your life, who left town?"
Yeah, I left town. Like that's the ego took over, right? You're not when I'm not
That's it.
present. The ego,
Turning it over to the non-being self. That's it.
yeah.
And all of its emotions and all of its, the worksheet we did yesterday. Anybody who wasn't there yesterday, it was just an awesome session that Susan did as a second session in the facilitated Codependence, Interdependence Communication Practicum. And we did the 3 early memories worksheet. And if you're not in the intensive, you can go to the website, grab the 3 early memories worksheet. And then there's another worksheet called When I Heal. And in the When I Heal worksheet, what you do is you go back to your 3 early memories, which are asking you all the stuff that went on. And, gee, when I was 3, I remember that blah, 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 and I felt and I wanted and I needed and people are, and all the conclusions that we can imagine ourselves coming to in those early memories. And then realizing in the When I Heal, you take and do a summary of all of the emotions, all of the goals, all of the garbage from those 3 early memories, and you put into a statement of when I'm vital enough to heal, this is what's going to come to my mind. This is what's going to scream and yell for my attention, this past pain and trauma. And these emotions are going to come with such a demand that, I can't tell you how many times over the years I've asked somebody, well, gee, why did you do that? And they were, well, I felt like it. Well, when you're healing, when you're in a healing crisis, you're going to feel like doing whatever those prompts were from those 3 early memories. And this is where in this work, one has to discipline themselves to stop doing what their feelings demand, what their unconsciousness demands. And then the second half of When I Heal is, okay, so when this stuff starts to come up and move in me, what am I going to do? What's my new commitment going to be? I'm going to treat myself lovingly, gently, with respect to people around me. What am I going to do? And it takes a great deal of discipline to give up the behavior prompts of a deserted, hated, hurt, traumatized, abandoned, raped feeling, to give that up because it comes with such impetus, and bring choice into your body-mind unit rather than follow the decisions of the past.
Yeah, it almost feels like when you have a turntable and you're playing a record and the song has been grooved in, so automatically the needle goes into the song, right? The
Right.
song plays that old record. And in order to create the new record, you got to hold the needle for a while. You got to be conscious and actually hold the needle till the new groove in the turntable or in the record actually gets
Right.
established. And that's
And,
what it feels like, the neural pathways of the brain,
right.
because the wiring is in the old programming.
Right.
So you got to hold
And
it consciously.
and there are 2 things. It's a good metaphor, and there are 2 things involved in that needle.
Yeah.
One is the groove. That's
Yeah.
the carrier.
Yeah.
But then there's the software. There's the signal in it. When I play a rock and roll record, I play a rhythm and blues record, the grooves are the same. They look the same. But coded in each groove is the frequency of either the past or
Mhm.
of if I'm going to redo it, the choices I'm bringing in to overwrite the past grooves.
Yeah. And back to I looked up the fella just bringing up the song that I think his name was Sean Rowe that you talked about in The Accountant.
Right.
That line, right? That I cannot read a song or I cannot
Read a book I haven't
yeah.
written.
Yeah, or I think the line was a little different than that.
Slightly
But,
different. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the,
But yeah, it was, and that whole song is quite interesting, by the way, listening
it
that,
is.
yeah,
He's done he's clearly done his work.
yeah. And so for those that don't, because Michael talked about it in that first video, to go look up him and that song. And I'm just gonna grab it here because it's the name got here. And it really made like you said, I mean, there's no accidents that came in that you even mentioned that song, because it's exactly with what we're going through right now, all of us, as we face our stuff. So yeah, the song is To Leave Something Behind. And the line was, I cannot read what I did not write. That
Yeah.
that goes to the needle effect that we're talking about.
That's it exactly. I put the coding in the groove that tells the story.
So that's the story that I'm telling myself. And even that in my mind, whatever, remember, and I was saying yesterday about how, my environment created my mind. So I had a mother who was not mentally present and I couldn't get access to that love.
Right.
And then my mind got created, and here I am in an adult seeing somebody I love, I can't get access to. I created, not, I made up a story that now in my life, I'm in the same effect, different character, but the energetic pattern is exactly the same. And that deep yearning, which I would have had in my direct experience as a baby, or I had no access to it. Could not get access to that.
Right.
And I've replicated it in my patterning as, 50, I'm 60 years old now, 56 years old. There it is again.
Old?
Oh,
You're old? Really? No.
big
I guess
60.
I mean claim it. Go for the age if you want, but you could just
Yeah,
give up
exactly.
the
It's right.
idea
I'm not. Age
of
is a number. You're
old.
exactly right.
Yeah.
There's no age.
People say to me,
I'm getting,
how old is Lincoln? And I'll say, he isn't.
yeah, it's
And
true.
they just kind of shudder like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Well, he's been circling the earth for a year, but he's not old.
it's true.
It's built in the grooves. It's built in the whole language.
That's right. 60 years. Exactly. Thank you for that, because
Yeah.
I'm here as a human experiencing life in no time, where their age is a construct. So thank you.
Eternal.
I'm an eternal being. So that, even saying that out loud, and you even pointed that out in the video when you said give ourselves a pat on the back, because believe it or not, as a co-creator of God, created in his image, and the breath breathing in is a living being, and yet this reality is running a program of distortion, that I am the belief that I'm separate from love.
And if I can tell a story about something other than love, then I've given up my human life. And one of the ways we give up our human lives, our culture brainwashes us into giving up our human lives, is we say to each other, I love you. That's a lie.
It's a lie.
You've never loved anybody. I've never loved anybody. I'm never going to. You're never going to. And God doesn't love us.
Yeah, we are love.
Love is a verb. Or
Yeah.
pardon me, the culture tells us love is a verb. Love is not a verb. It's not something we do. It's not something we can get from each other. We were born as love. We are the fact of love. And the specialty of the world is to knock that out of us and then give us a false set of instructions that most people waste most of their lives on. They send us out the door about the age of 17 or 18 and say, now go find somebody to love, or find somebody to love you.
Yeah.
Was that tune really popular? Don't you want somebody to love? Don't
Yeah.
you need? It's all a fraud.
Or I
And
want
it
you to
takes
want
our
me.
creative energy off in a place that it doesn't belong. Do I want somebody to cherish and have meaningful relationship with that will cherish me? Absolutely. Do I experience myself as love that is capable of cherishing that person? Well, if I think I'm loving them, then I've left that whole piece out of my creative puzzle. And that's one of the tricks of Satan. the brainwash, the resistance to truth.
That we are set, that means then, I'm just seeing as I'm looking through the 9 bits or perceiving the 9-bit structure that we're looking through, the mere fact that we think we're separate from it. That's
Exactly.
Satan's, that's
Gave it up.
that's Satan's game right there.
You got it. You got it.
And when we
And
collapse that fear and hostility and knowing that we actually remove the entire veil, that we just become, we are it. There is no separation between us and it because it cannot be, it is us.
that's it. Yeah. And Joe's got his hand up, so he's probably got a thought for his microphone unmuted. You have a thought for us, Joe?
Yeah, just that I'm grateful for the pain. I'm grateful for all of this discussion and or awareness of the baggage being something that I now recognize. Before just would pass over it. Now it's
Right.
happened to me, it's the title of somebody's book, why is this happening to me again? Because it's just the repeatability of that aspect of, I've seen this. Wait a minute. Where's my breath going? My breath. Do I need to do anything? No. Yes. Be with it. The aspect of, I love the word collapse, but I also find it to be the compost of the garden, to say
Yes.
that this waste that I perceived as some type of function of affection or whatever that helped me to get along and survive, now it's just compost, and it allows me to recognize the tilling, the gardening, the weeding. It's just a never ending. I really congratulate you, Susan. I know you're new to this work, but I wouldn't have guessed that, because last night was very stirring, and actually my worksheet looks pretty much like the one I did the first time years ago, and just I say this probably every time, and that is to anybody, is you got to hang in there. You got to hang in there, because there's this repeatability happening, and you get to a point where you recognize it, like you were saying, you're in this groove, and that groove is within me. It's not, I mean, the metaphorical idea of, okay, here's a demonstration, here's the record, here's the needle and so forth, but this needle and the record is all stuff that I created, and are just, as you hear more times than not, and that is, I need to remove the blocks that I created, that I nurtured, that helped me to survive and to be who I am today. And now, unfortunately, there's things I gotta let go of. And it's not easy, although it's very joyful. It's wonderful.
It's funny because I feel, I'm up against cognitive dissonance right now.
Yeah.
Because all of my belief systems around what I felt kept me safe. And even what Lindsay worked last night, it's my story also, where I separated myself, and I kept myself separate on the outside looking into life because it wasn't safe. And yet now, to open that up, to go through the healing journey, and like the sliver, I got to come out the same way it went in. I can feel there's so much resistance that's in me around that, because it feels, Dr. Tim challenged me, because I said I'm dying to the false self. He challenged me on that, right? That, not that term, because that's a warrior term. And just allow that I get to move into being embraced by my true self. And even saying it that way, you can feel the energy shift around it. It's not warrior that I have to warrior up. It's actually allowing, the second way that I said it is moving into resting into life. But to be honest with you, it's extremely scary. I'm scared as hell.
It's scary. Something outside of you scares you, really.
Well,
I didn't know that was possible, Susan. I'm going to have to look into that and see if that's even possible. I always
the
thought
scariness
if somebody
within
was scared,
me,
it was scary
the
inside
fear
them,
within
that's
me.
being brought up by something. That's what I always thought, but maybe I'm in error.
Oh, the fear within me is being brought up by having to look at this part of myself. Let's put it that way. The fear
Well,
within me is
welcome.
front and center.
Welcome to the group, yes. And I
And it
also,
survives when you leave the room.
I also want to say, on a lighter note, Susan, I love your accent because what is it, Chicago? Is that where you're from?
No, I'm Canada, British Columbia.
Because a lot of, so how are you? It's very nice, very pleasant. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that. I also talk really fast so often, so thanks for recognizing it. See, as a Canadian, I'm like, what accent? Oh, the only thing is A. I know in Canada we spell it Canada. Everything ends with A, but
Well, here I grew up in New England, so
yes.
it's almost time for a coffee. So I'm thinking about making a coffee. I'm just going to have a black coffee. So yeah,
I know I get challenged on the about a lot.
about.
Hoot and a boot,
Out.
and a hoose.
But yeah, thank you for your comments and thank you for acknowledging last night. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, nice going. Thank you.
So Susan, as you mentioned how you were identified with Lindsay,
Yeah.
it might be worth looking at the aspect of what came up for her from that experience, and you seemed like it really paralleled.
Mm-hmm.
Then it might be worth looking at, is there a part of your mind that says it's not safe for you to be here? You need to go away. You need to withdraw.
1000%.
So then I'd suggest another mind shifter, and that is, it is safe and healing for my beloved to embrace me fully and be fully in each other's presence for eternity. It is safe and healing for my beloved to be fully present and embrace me for eternity.
It's safe and healing for my beloved to be fully present and embrace me fully and be fully in each
All of
other's
eternity.
presence for eternity. Okay. So I'm just going to say that again. I wrote it originally. Did I get it right? It's safe and healing for my beloved to embrace me fully and be fully in each other's presence for eternity.
Yay.
Okay. I feel excitement with that, but also the excitement comes up. There's a truth with that. I can feel it. And obviously that fear and hostility within me that's always been with me is also up. I can see it's like two antennas like this.
Remember, that's the idea of a mind shifter. Mind shifters is designed, and now I would say this is one where you sit for 3 or 4 hours. Your phone is off. You're totally in your own space, and you just write this one and let yourself do the deepest, right down to the tips of the toes of your genes of what's in you around this issue, and let it come up and dump it out on the page.
I will do that. I will do that one. I will do that. Thank you, Michael.
Breathing with you.
Yeah, I can feel. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is not Dr. Feelgood. Just saying, I should have known when I asked God a Course in Miracles question, and then you showed up in my feed. That's all I'm saying. And my soul said, you got to be there and meet these people. And here I am doing the deepest healing I've ever done. So thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Appreciate your willingness. It's pretty sweet, pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know what? I just realized that this morning. Willing. And when I put in is will ing. So will in God, that came this morning through willing.
Mm. Cool.
Will in God. And so, yes, I am willing for sure.
Yeah, and it's important to recognize too that the ego has a cheap copy of everything that's real in the spiritual dimension. And the
Yeah.
ego's cheap copy of will is I have the power to make this happen. I'll get it done. Doesn't matter who resists or who fights it. That's willpower. That's the non-being mind's cheap copy. Will is a very gentle spiritual faculty with which we manage our minds.
Yeah.
And the mind is managed through indirection. You can't manage the mind. You can't tell the mind directly to do something. It's managed indirectly. And that's where goals come in, because the mind is managed by goals.
Yeah.
And so you've got to be careful about will jumping in. I have the power and I'll get her done. As opposed to, I gently embrace my own mind and manage it according to my highest vision of the
Yeah.
truth.
And as you're speaking, well, a couple things are coming because, like, as my awareness is shifting, new data is coming in to my 9-bit mind. So serenity, of course, is one word, which you talk about. They talk about peace, but it's actually serenity we're seeking, which is the stillness and the calmness and peace. So that's really floating in. And then Dr. Tim talked about discernment. And then at the call earlier this week is the better part of valor. So I had to go look. I looked that up and I found the origin of discernment in the 1300s, which it had to do with perceive and understand. To perceive and understand was discernment, its original origin meaning. And then
Right.
he talked about valor. And this is all for my awareness, for my expansion, where valor had to do with self-worth and self-value, and then also strength of mind or spirit, and the firmness to handle danger. And of course, danger could be physical danger, mental danger, so I loved how valor was it's already embedded in the language, that it was the strength of mind or spirit, to be able to sit in the firmness of God in what we're talking about right now, the willing, the gentle serenity of God. And then you said yesterday on the call, or on our workshop or it might have been yesterday on the call or on the workshop, where we just be love, active, present, conscious love. And then anything that shows up in our world, we bring forgiveness to it. And guess what? I'm doing the Course in Miracles. And today's idea, I just want to share, it says, salvation is my only function here. And interesting, because I was ahead, but I got taken back to these lessons to go forward again. So my mind must have shifted because the universe wants me to start back here again. My function here is to forgive the world for all the errors I made. For thus am I released from them with all the world. My function here is to forgive the world for all the errors I have made. For thus am I released from them with all the world. Salvation is my only function here. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
There you go. As long as we remember that forgive means to remove the energetic dynamics behind the world.
Yeah.
Because so many people will, because of the Greek misinterpretation of forgiveness. And it's sometimes not really clear in the Course that the word forgive doesn't mean let somebody off the hook. So it's really, I think, an important point to always keep in front with the way the world's been so fooled about that idea of forgiveness.
Now that I read that, I know it's removing the mind energy of the distortion, right? The mind energy.
Exactly.
that's so it's actually collapsing. And I think it was Joe saying that he loved the word collapse because, and then of course I go back to the Twin Towers example that you give. It's going to its root and actually imploding it. So then I'm not creating the reality that supports the need to even be forgiven. And this is, there's only me and God here anyway. Everybody else, everything I see outside of my world, I've made up in my mind. So if I forgive
And
the mind energy that made up this world, I can actually exist in co-creation in the present moment. Whereas you,
yeah,
yeah,
and then maybe there aren't even those two.
yeah. Ah, and I'm just showing up moment by moment, and I'm so thankful for everybody's support and everybody that's here, and just that I found you guys, the work that I've done to get here. So I can't,
Delighted to have you on the team that changed the world.
no, yeah, it's already done.
So I've been looking at the mind shifts that I gave you and have, what a slight adjustment to perhaps consider.
Okay,
And that is, it is safe and healing for my beloved and I to be fully present in each other's total embrace for all of eternity. It is safe and healing for my beloved and I to be fully present in each other's total embrace for all of eternity.
it is safe and healing for my beloved and I to be fully present in each other's total
Total
embrace for all
embrace
eternity.
for all of eternity.
For all of eternity, okay? That feels very important in my storyline. Yeah, thank you.
And one of the things that is key in that, there's a thing we talk about in the Healing Through Relationships workshop that'll come up in the Codependence work called the file folder effect. And we've only got a minute or two, but I'll just throw this out. That when two files fire together, they wire together. And I need to be aware how I allow my mind to wire things in the context of my relationships. If I have named the word fear, disgust, hatred, vengeance, repulsion in me, and my partner does something that resonates that,
Mhm.
and I don't instantly take responsibility for that and remove it, forgive it, the tendency will be for it to become wired into my brain's image of them. And then forevermore in their space, even if I'm unconscious of it, there's, let's say, that if it's revulsion in me, then there's going to be revulsion toward my partner. And what people tend to do is they go through their relationship hooking up these traumas, these unresolved pains and traumas to their brain's image of their partner. And one morning they look up and look on the other side of the bed and say, what the hell am I doing here with you? I can't even stand how I feel when I'm with you. Well, why can't I stand how I feel? It's got nothing to do with them. It's what I've hooked into my brain's image of them. And so each time that something resonates within the context of relationship and I forgive us to that something, I open the space for a deeper appreciation for the beauty of my partner, for the presence of my partner, rather than, the way most people play the game of relationship. Well, there comes a point where the honeymoon is over because after all, and that's all based on blame and projection.
And I realize that right now, this being, and I know his soul very well, but the image I'm seeing is the projection of my past trauma, of the direct experiences I had as a child. And that's between the truth of the love that's present.
Yeah.
And and it's, there's fear. Yeah. So I'm going to work it. Thank you.
So we'll hold the space for that to dissolve and see
What gets
what that opens in the context of that relationship. We'll hold the space.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Honor, delighted.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It was a fast hour. Glad you're with us. Please come and play if you're if you've ever done the Codependence, the Interdependence Communication Practicum, the online one, or bought the self-study, please take part in this self-study. It's Sunday afternoons afternoons 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then Wednesday evening, 7 to 9, make the space. If you're not part of it and you'd like to be, then all you need to do is purchase the self-study of that intensive, and the evaluations, we'll get them out to you and we get started. So glad you're with us. Have a blessed one. Appreciate you. Goodbye.